Hi, so today we're going to start on our mat, and I recommend just having one or two blocks nearby. You can sit on your block for now, and if you're not using blocks today, you can also have a bolster or some cushions, so sitting on your cushion or your bolster or your block. Come into your seated position, take your hands somewhere on your legs, close down the eyes, relaxing into your face. Maybe rolling back the shoulders and allowing them to drop down towards the ground, lifting your heart space upwards, so straightening through the spine, and thus enabling us to really be able to fully expand the lungs. So breathing in through the nose, pushing the tummy outwards, feeling your breath going down into the belly, and then exhale, relax the breath out. So release the breath out, draw your tummy back in towards the spine, and we're releasing through the whole body towards the earth. Inhaling once again through the nose. And exhale, let your breath go. Last time together, inhale, slow, deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, relax your breath out. And then just continuing with that natural breath cycle. On your next inhale, bringing your chin up towards the sky so you can keep your eyes closed. And we'll start with one full rotation in the direction of your choice. Exhaling as you bring the chin down towards your chest, and then inhaling again as you lift your head back up towards the sky. Exhale towards your chest. Inhale, drawing the head back up towards the sky. Let's do one more full rotation. And then wherever you are in your circle, starting to go in the opposite direction. With yoga, we're practicing with our breath, so keeping that rhythm going with your inhales, with your exhales. Two more like this. So relieving any muscle tension or tightness in our neck and our shoulders. And then the next time your chin is towards your chest, keeping the head down, you can stay like this or interlace your fingers behind the back of your neck and just start to lift your head away from the top of your back. So we're trying to find a little bit of length through the neck muscles, through the back of the neck. You can stay still, or if you feel like it, you can also move your head gently from side to side. So noticing any sensations that you're picking up here in the neck or the shoulders. And just warming and working into those muscles. So we can start to release the hands, bring your head back to its neutral position, and let's come onto our hands and knees in tabletop position. Perfect. So let's move a little bit into our spine. Bring your tummy and your heart space down towards the ground as you arch the back, maybe lift your head up. And then on your exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin into your chest. You can close your eyes here or look towards the knees. Inhale again, arching through the spine, lift the head. Exhale, round the back. One more time like this. Inhale, arch. Exhale to round. Come into your neutral position. Come all the way down to the ground, onto your belly. And we're going to just bring our left hand out to the side. So our right hand remains next to our chest. You can drop your left cheek onto the mat. Bend your right knee. And then start to push into your right hand as you twist and spiral over that left shoulder. So your right foot will find the floor behind your left leg. If it's too much for this left shoulder, maybe you're bringing the left arm closer to your hip. You can also cactus that left arm as well. And then option to keep your right hand where it is on the ground in front of your heart center, or you can bring it behind your back as well. Finding the floor behind your lower back area, or maybe interlacing your fingers and then extending the arms away from the spine. Tuck your chin in closer to your chest and towards your center. So a nice deep stretch for the shoulders, lengthening into our heart center as well, and a little bit of a twist through the whole spine. Beautiful. Coming back onto our fronts, let's go for it on the opposite side. So your right hand will move out towards the right side this time, left hand next to your chest. Bring your right cheek onto the ground, bend your left knee, start to push into your left hand, and then we're coming our right shoulder. So opening out through the right shoulder across your chest. Feel free to close your eyes here as well. Breathing in and out. Maybe we're taking a variation different to this with that left arm. So choosing one that you like or one that you did on the opposite side. Long breaths in. Slow breaths out. So really finding that control through your breath. Massaging our nervous system. Bringing ourselves into that center of peace and calm. Let's roll back over onto our front. Take your hands on the chest and come back into tabletop position. From here, move your knees out slightly towards the sides of your mat. Untuck your toes, push your hips back, come into child's pose and bring your forehead onto the mat. So breathing in. And let your breath go. Let's try and find a little bit more length through the whole upper body so you can walk your hands a little bit further forward towards the front of your mat. Maybe your head lifts off the ground to enable this movement. Perfect. Let's come back up into tabletop on our inhale. So you can keep your knees a little bit wider apart and then exhale, drop your tummy down, arch your back, maybe lift your head. So we already found this cow position when we were going through cat-cow. So now we're joining it into a flow. So let's take a breath in, neutral spine. Exhale for child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale, let your breath go. Inhale for tabletop. Exhale, option to take that cow again or coming down into a cobra. So you're moving your feet out towards the corners of your mat. Keep your elbows tight into the body. Press your heart space forward. And now moving with our breath. Inhale for tabletop. Bring your feet together again. Exhale for child's pose. One full inhale, one full exhale here. Inhale, tabletop. And then exhale, find your back bend. So either your cow pose or your cobra with your feet outwards towards the corners. Inhale for tabletop. Exhale for child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale here. Let's go 2 more times. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, find your back bend. Think about extending your heart, extending your tummy. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Well done. Breathing here. Inhale, tabletop, last one. Exhale, child's pose. One full inhale, one full exhale. And then come back to tabletop position. Let's make our way back into our kneeling position. So bum towards your heels. You can lift your heart space and your spine up. And then bringing your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, draw the hands down. Option to stay here or coming into that child's pose. So head comes down towards the ground and we can start to lift our head up, our arms up towards the sky. Be sure to tuck your chin into your chest if your head is on the ground, so we're not aggravating the neck. Maybe with your exhalations, your hands find more space, your arms find more room to lift upwards, and you can keep your palms together or your palms apart. If you moved your hands away from your lower back, bring them back to your lower back, and then with a little bit of strength, lift yourself back up into that kneeling position. So coming onto your hands and knees again. We'll start to press our palms into the mat, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up into downward facing dog. So you're looking towards the feet, and we'll just start to pedal out our legs. So bending one knee at a time, trying to push your mat forward with your arms, with your hands, with that strength. And then while we're doing that pushing motion, we're lifting up through the shoulders towards the hips. Maybe nodding your head yes, or shaking it no if that feels good, if you want to release some tension in the neck and shoulders, or just ensure that we're not causing any tension here by being too stiff. And then stop your pedaling, look forward, come up onto your tippy toes. Let's start to walk little baby steps forward to the top of our mat. Once you arrive, have your feet hip width distance apart. Bend your knees, hang your head over your legs. Maybe hold on to opposite elbows. Find that ragdoll, maybe sway from side to side. Perfect. Release your hands, start to come all the way up to stand. Roll your shoulders back once you arrive. Have your hands neutral, extended towards the ground. Inhale, lift your hands towards the sky, towards the ceiling, breathing in. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lifting up halfway, so you can bring your hands onto your legs or keep them on the mat. And then exhale for plank. Once you arrive in plank, let's lower all the way down, so you can come through Chaturanga Dandasana if you like, or all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes, keep your hands next to your chest, roll your shoulders back, press your heart space forward. So baby cobra or extended cobra or upward facing dog. And then lowering back down, tuck your toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Readjust your feet if you need to. Bending at the knees again, pushing your hips away from your head. Inhale to lift your right leg to the sky. And then exhale, bend your knee, bring it into your chest. Look in between your hands and we're stepping our right foot there. Drop your left knee to the ground. Untuck your toes. Take your right hand onto your block and then lift your hands up towards the sky, breathing in. Exhale, sink your hips forward and down. Inhale, once again, lifting up. And then exhale, drop your right hand towards the ground and we're leaning towards that block, towards that right hand. So pull your left shoulder back. Inhaling here. Exhale, continue to press your hips towards that right foot. Let's go for it on the other side. Inhale, both hands to the sky, swap your hands with your block. And then drop your left hand down towards the ground. Inhale, lifting up. And then this time, bending through that left elbow, leaning over towards the left side. Pull your right shoulder back. Keep pressing your hips forward. So really nice opening through that left hip flexor. Inhale, back up, neutral. Bring your hands next to your right foot. And then on your next exhalation, push your hips back. So we start to lengthen through that right leg. You can bring your hands back with you. We're going to just take our right toes off the ground. We'll just start to rotate into our right ankle. So releasing through the ankle. If you went in one direction, starting to go in the opposite direction. And then bring your toes back up towards the sky. Inhale, imagine that your heart space is moving in the same direction as your toes towards the front of your mat. And on your exhale, start to bring your tummy down towards your right thigh. Inhaling here once again. And exhale here. Start to rock forward into your low lunge again by bending into that right leg. Tuck your left toes, lift your back knee off the ground. Start to bring all the weight into your right leg. And we'll come into a warrior 3. So your left leg comes off the ground. You might like to bring your hands into your heart center. Maybe you're bringing them over your ears. This left leg, the extended leg, is really strong, pressing towards the back of your mat. Find your drishti. Move your shoulders away from your ears. And then let's come into stork pose. So our left knee comes up towards our chest, hugging the knee in towards us. So you can hold on to your knee with your hands and then really hugging, pressing the knee in towards your tummy and towards your chest. Keep your eyes on that drishti, that focal point. Find your balance. If you come out of it, you can always come back into it. It's not a big deal. And then we're going to drop, so keeping the position with that left leg, so heel towards the back of the leg. Drop your knee down towards the ground, holding onto the left foot with your left hand. And first of all, we'll just hug, so continue to pull the left foot into the back of the left leg. And we can think about pressing our hips forward towards the front of our mat. So again, opening up into this left hip. Maybe one hand, maybe both hands. Option also to come into your dancer pose if you feel like it. Right hand comes to the sky, breathing in. And then on the exhale, we're pressing our foot backwards to the back of our mat. Our heart space is nice and long, nice and tall. You can keep your right hand lifted, or we're bringing the right hand forward towards the front of our mat. Let's start to come out of it. Inhale, back to stork. And then exhale, drop your left foot next to your right. Move your feet out towards the edges of your mat, toes turning outwards. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your hips down in between your heels for Malasana. So you can keep your hands on the ground, or you can bring your hands in front of your heart. Press your elbows into the insides of your knees. Lift your heart space towards the sky. Pressing your hips towards the backs of your calves. Feel free to close your eyes here. Perfect. So we'll drop our hands down towards the ground, step or jump back into plank. Breathing in plank, and then exhale either through Chaturanga Dandasana or all the way down. Untuck your toes to take your back bend. Breathing in. And then exhale for downward dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. Press your palms into the ground. Press the hands forward. Bending at the knees. One last breath like this. When you feel ready, lift your left leg to the sky. Breathing in. And then on your exhale, knee in towards your chest. Look forward. Step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down to the ground. Take your block in your left hand this time. Lift both hands to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, press your hips towards that left heel. Well done. Inhale once again. Exhale, left hand comes down. We'll start to lean over towards that left side. Pull your right shoulder back. Maybe we look up towards the sky underneath that right arm. And then inhale, both hands to the sky. Swap blocks or swap hands. Right hand down. Inhale. And then exhale, leaning over towards the right side. So you can start to push your hips over towards the left side of your mat. Inhale back to center. Bring your hands to frame your left foot. And then exhale, press your hips back into your half split. So we'll start to lift our toes towards the sky, and you can start to rotate into that left ankle. Once you've found your position, you can always put your hands on your blocks as well if you feel like the ground is a little bit too far away, or that it's encouraging this rounded position with the spine. So we still want to try and fold over the left leg. So we still want to try and lengthen our spine by bringing our tummy forward. If you were going in one direction, let's start to move in the opposite direction. If you forgot what direction your foot was going, you could do a little bit of both. Well done. And then bring your toes to point back up towards the sky. Inhale with your heart space towards the front of your mat. Exhale, allow your tummy to move a tiny bit closer towards that left leg. So you can keep your head nice and proud, lifted, so your heart space is the one that's leading this position, that's encouraging the straightness through the spine and the back body. We'll get ready to come into our warrior 3. So bending through your left knee, shifting the weight into that left leg, tuck your toes, right knee comes off the ground with maybe a little bit of momentum. We're starting to lift our right leg off the ground. So you can always keep your hands on the floor or starting to lift them towards your heart center. Look for that drishti. Keep an eye on it. Keep your right foot lifted, pressed back. Breaths are slow and steady. Face is nice and relaxed. Let's come into stork pose, knee towards your chest, breathing in. And then exhale, bring your hands in front of your right knee. Hug the knee into your chest. Keep pressing into that left leg. We're going to keep the position of our right leg as we drop our knee down towards the ground, holding on to that right foot. Bring the knees back together. Press your hips forward. Right heel into the back of your right leg. Maybe we hold on with both hands. Perfect. And then maybe we're staying here, or we're coming into our dancer pose. So you can keep the position of your right hand, or you can bring it into the inside of that right foot. Left hand to the sky. Inhale here. On the exhale, press your foot into your hand. Maybe we drop the left hand to shoulder height. Keep thinking about your drishti. Keep thinking about lengthening through the whole front body. The anterior chain from our chest all the way down to the right hip and the right leg into that quad. Inhale back to stork. And then exhale, drop your right foot down next to your left. Widen your feet. Toes are facing the corners of the mat. Take a breath in. And then exhale, we'll sink down into our malasana again. You can adjust your feet as you need to. And then we'll just keep our hands on the ground this time. We're going to bring our left hand over towards the left side of our mat. Try and bring your left shoulder in as close to the left knee as you can. And then inhale, bring your right hand up towards the sky. So we're looking up towards that right thumb Option to take a bind here if you like. Bring the right hand behind the back, and then we're finding the right fingers with our left fingers. See if we can continue to open our knees outwards. Pull your shoulder back. Try and twist your chest up towards the sky. Your chest is following your gaze. And then release. Right armpit comes towards your right knee. Left hand lifts to the sky. Take a breath in. Look up towards that left thumb. Maybe we take a bind here on this side as well. And our chest opens out towards the left side. Our left shoulder follows. Our gaze follows in that direction too. Maybe smiling a little bit. And our heels can always be on the ground. It might be a little bit trickier to balance, but you're doing what feels good in your body and what works for your body today. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's always about what it feels like. Let's come out of it. Bring your hands forward. Drop them towards the ground, and we're going to bring our knees onto the floor. So if you have any sensitivity in your knees, bring a blanket underneath them, or you can roll your mat underneath them instead. Come all the way up to stand on your knees. Active camel or supported camel. So supported camel, we're using our hands pressing against our lower back. Active, we're just going to bring our hands in front of our heart space. So just do what feels good. You can always mix and match. In camel pose, we think about this whole extension of the front of the body. So start to press your hips forward. Lift your heart space up towards the sky. If you're doing supported camel, maybe we're bringing our hands towards the heels. Keep your chin tucked in towards your chest. And then let's lift our way out of it, re-supporting the back. If you were in supported, keep your hands in front of your heart space. If you're doing active camel, we'll just stay here for 1 or 2 breaths and we'll go into it for the second round. So this is all about opening up through the front of the body, strengthening through the back body. So really important when we're coming into our pop-ups, standing up on our board, having that strength in our back, flexibility in our front. So hands in front of our heart space, lift up the heart, press your hips forward, maybe going for an active camel this time, or supported, or your hands down, whichever you feel like doing is perfect. So hips forward, heart space lifts, shoulders back. Well done, keep looking forward. Let's take 1 more breath here and then lift our way back up. 2 breaths. Last one. Last one, active or supported. Press your hips forward, breathing in. Maybe keep your hands on your back, maybe bring them towards your heels, shoulders in, elbows in. And then let's come up out of it. Well done. Alrighty, take your hands onto the ground, cross your legs, roll over onto your bums. Take your hands behind the backs of your legs, roll onto your back, bring your knees into your chest, and then we'll start to just rock and roll. So sitting up, rolling back down again, sitting up, rolling back down again. So massaging through the back. Let's go a few more times. Find your rhythm, find your momentum, your own style. And then the next time we're on our backs, just bringing your knees into your chest, bring your hands next to your hips, shoulders flat on the ground. And we can start to push our hands into the floor, bringing our knees towards our forehead. So our lower back lifts off the ground. You can hold on to your lower back at this point. Option to stay here. So this shoulder stand variation, maybe you hug your heels into the backs of your legs. You can start to walk your hands up your back, so in the direction of your mat. In the direction of your mat. And then maybe we keep our legs bent, or we start to bring the feet behind the head. So find this plow pose. So this time really opening up into the back body, into the back of our neck. Keep looking up towards the legs. And then start to release your hands back towards the ground, and our back is going to follow, so you can bend your knees again. Perfect. And then lower the feet down towards the ground with the knees bent. We're going to finish with a supported bridge. So we take our bolster, we take our block. Feet are going to start off being hip width distance apart. And then just start to lift your hips up towards the sky. Take your block. There's different heights for the block, so you choose a height that suits you. Drop your lower back and hip and pelvis onto the block. Find a comfortable spot that it feels supported in. You can stay holding onto the block, or you're opening your hands out towards the side. And see if we can start to drop and release our weight onto the block. Perfect. So maybe we keep our knees bent, or feel free to extend the legs towards the front of your mat. And this is one of these poses where we're going to hold for a little bit longer, cooling down the body. Relaxing our face. Shooting into the breath. We'll start to come out of it in the same way. So rebending the knees. Start to engage your hips, your glutes, the legs. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Remove your block and then bring the hips back down to the ground. Releasing the back. From here, just open your hands out completely out towards the side, so in this T shape, and then straightening into your left leg. Bring your right knee into your chest. You can hold on to the knee with your left hand, and then we're guiding our knee across the body. Maybe your right foot finds the floor first, and then that's just going to act as a brake as we drop our knee down towards the ground. So we can open our right shoulder towards the earth as well. You can keep looking up or looking over that right hand. And then let's bring our knee back towards the sky, straightening through that right leg, this time bending into the left knee. Using your right hand to hold onto the outside of the left knee. Take a breath in. On your exhale, we'll guide the knee across the body towards the right side of the mat. Sky, both knees into your chest, hug the knees, lift your head up towards the knees, come really tightly into this ball. You can blow your knees a kiss or kiss them, or just nestle or move your forehead towards the knees. And then we'll come onto our backs. So opening the feet out towards the corners of your mat. Shavasana, one hand on your heart, one hand on your tummy, or both hands towards the sides of your mat. Relax your shoulders, relax your forehead, relax your eyebrows. So we're sending these tiny signals towards those muscles, encouraging softness, encouraging this feeling that we're letting go. So there's nothing left to do. We're totally relaxing and letting go and embracing this final posture, Shavasana, corpse pose, when we do nothing, when we allow what we've learned, what our body has gone through to integrate. Shoulders, arms, fingers relaxing towards the ground. Heart space, we're watching. Lift up and drop down with our breath. Maybe you can feel the different parts of your back on the mat. So your upper back, your middle back. There might be a little bit of a curve. And then your lower back and hips are on the ground as well. Glutes, legs, calves, heels. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. I recommend 3 minutes at least, maybe 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes if you have time today. And then I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and you're feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more yourself, clear-headed, focused, ready for what's to come. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll look forward to guiding you through another practice in our next class together.